What's going on, people? What's really woo? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Folks, I need to talk to y'all. I just got me a new video game known as Mafia: The Old Country. Now, for those of y'all that know me, y'all know I love me some Mafia games, right? The games of Mafia are really fun, like low key, like they're just I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the open world, maybe it's the storyline, maybe it's the shoot 'em up, third person shooter kind of games, or maybe it's just all of the above. I don't really know. But what I do know is I've been entertained by all three Mafia games, especially the fact that the third one wasn't really that much about the Mafia. It was more just about like a black man trying to fight through a lot of crazy stuff in the 60s. So it was cool. But yeah, it was different from your average Mafia game, but it was still cool. But I think the reason that they made that third one was to try to make it more open world than the first two. And to me, it did work out that way. So this one was different. They decided to kind of shrink that open world philosophy that they've been using for the past three games and focus more on just like they wanted to focus more on. I mean, the first game wasn't really that much open world, but they wanted to focus more on a stealth kind of vibe. So what they wanted to do with this was they wanted to just put you in a world of the Mafia and just go through different things in the 1900s where you kind of kept yourself out of trouble a lot. And that really did kind of work out for me. But my one biggest miss was that they should have kept it open world. I think open world worked for them because they were able to move a lot efficiently and you had more time with the game. Because now you can go anywhere you want, do side missions, whatever, drive around, see the view. You can still do that in this game. There were moments where they allowed you to drive from one place to the next. And you could you know, take your car and look around places, take your horse. You could do horseback riding, basically. You could ride a horse and take your horse and ride around. Your horse even had a turbo, which was crazy. And you could ride around and look at the countryside and look at the view. The graphics were really, really good because this time you're getting Mafia on a PS5 rather than like a PS4. So Mafia on a PS4 was still cool, but now you're getting Mafia on the PS5, so the graphics are even more enhanced. And the graphics were really good. The old countryside looked cool. The pictures were cool. Still had that video game vibe, of course. You can't escape that, but it worked. Um, this was a different story because now we're going back to the early 1900s. I think by the time the game ended, it was like 1907 or something like that. It was close to 1910. And this was basically about a young man named Enzo who worked in the mines. He was a poor man. His friend got bodied from escaping the mines, and they were at the mercy of one mob. And they ended up, well, Enzo, your character, ends up escaping the mob, and he gets found by another mob. And that mob, I believe the guy's name is Don Teresi, he ends up taking you in as his own. You're now part of his family, and you have to go through the trials and tribulations of being in a mob. So you have to avoid the law most of the time. You have to avoid bad guys most of the time. It's a lot of stealth. But there is also one thing there's a lot of too, and that is knife fights. My lord, are there a lot of knife fights in this game? How should I do it like they do? Maron. There's a lot of knife fights. They talk Italian too, which is kind of cool. But man, is there some knife fights in this game. You find out that every boss battle you go through is a knife fight. I am not making this up. You start off your first boss battle as a knife fight, and you about to get boom. Homie about to come at you with the burner, and he like fight me like a man. He's like, what? And he just pulled out a knife. And they start doing like the Michael Jackson joint from Peter, where they just like circle each other with the knife fights. Don't get me wrong. Surprisingly, they are more fun than I realized. But every fight had to be a knife fight. We couldn't just get a regular shoot 'em up. Y'all had burners, and these burners was easy to reload. But for some weird reason, The stealth missions were cool, but sometimes they got a little boring. I'm different. Like, I'm the type of person that will get caught all the time in like Metal Gear Solid and Hitman and Splinter Cell because I'm not trying to do all that stealth stuff. I'm trying to just run in there, guns blazing. That's me. So I went in there sometimes and tried to do that, but some boards you had to do the stealth or you'd have started the whole board over. And some boards was like, you get caught, you just start blasting. So I like those boards, the latter. But the knife fights was crazy. Every so often you had a knife fight with a boss, and then they did a cutscene, and you had to run it back. And I mean run it back like you kept going with the fight, not start over. But I thought it was fun. I had fun. I legit had fun playing this game. There was a lot of things that did make me laugh. For example, you fall in love with the mob boss's daughter, which you really kind of didn't have to, but they had to keep some suspense in there. And at some point, you do play as the mob boss's daughter. It's not long, but it's brief, and it's also very funny because it's stealth. She don't fight, but you're just kind of like, it's at a point in the game where you're like, I could have did this earlier with her. I didn't have to do it now. You know what? No, I'm spoiling this one because it really made me mad. To find out that the last board of the game is you playing as your character's girlfriend / baby mother after you done beat all the bosses that you could beat in this game. You end up catching you just end up catching a stray knife to the chest from your mans. Your mans who you thought was your mans, that ain't really your mans because he's the mob boss's nephew. And you catch a stray one to the chest. Now your baby moms is like, yo, they're gonna take me to the clinic to get, this taken care of. I ain't gonna say that A word on here and get myself in trouble, but they're gonna take you to the clinic to get yourself taken care of. They know a guy that know a guy. Now you got to do some Metal Gear Solid stuff to get yourself out of here. And you pull up on your cousin who just finished taking out your baby father, and he like, you lucky, we cousins. Go on and get out of here. Ain't nothing for you here no more. And she bounces to America, which I assume is just like a full circle moment. I assume she is the mother of the main character of the first Mafia, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that would be cool because this feels like a prequel, but I could be wrong. So I'm saying that to say like that was kind of a miss on my end because I felt like we ain't had to have why do I have to play as her as the end? I ain't even get to bust no guns with her or nothing. It was a weird knife fight. It was just everything about it to me was just like we ain't need that. But that doesn't stop the game from being cool. Game of the year? No, 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 no. But it was still a fun game nonetheless. You still had your moments where you it was still fun to me. You could still have your shootouts. All that stuff was cool. I just felt like certain things were amiss. Like, don't give me the ability to drive a car or ride a horse if every time I rode somewhere off road, they would tell me like, yo, you better go this way or we're going to make you restart the whole mission. Right? Don't make me wait till I beat the game to go, hey, now you can ride your horse or ride your car anywhere you want on the countryside because now I don't care no more. Game's over. I already won. You know what I mean? Like that don't add up to me. I just feel like I'd rather do it that way where it's like, let me do it during the game. Let it be open world. Let me ride my horse all over the place. And I'm paying for these horses. Y'all made me pay for some of these horses and cars that I could barely even use. So it's like if y'all gonna make me pay for this stuff, they didn't make me pay with like actual money, not my actual money, but in-game currency. If you're gonna make me pay for that stuff, let me drive around the countryside and see things, man. That's all I'm saying. I don't add up. There's certain things that just didn't add up. That doesn't mean the game was trash. It just meant that like those are the things that they should have did. This should have still been an open world game with stealth involvement, and I promise you, this game would have been a little bit better. Just a little bit better. But man, was that game funny. Them knife fights, man, you was knife fighting for your life. Every chance. Oh, snap, here's the boss. Let's go. Oh, Lord. I had a shotty in my hand, and I had to drop it for a knife fight. That don't make no types of sense. Homie was right there, point blank range with the shotty. He was like, nah, let's run it. What are you talking about? I don't want to shoot the fade with the knife. I got right here. I could actually shoot. So I just felt like those moments where you just like, what? What? Why? I had them dead to rights right here. So it was just like, what were we doing there? But all in all, the vibes on that game is that it is a vibe. It's valid. You should get the game. It's not that expensive neither. It's $50. If you buy it with like the DLC, don't buy the DLC. It's just like a cooler car and a cooler, like I think, horse and outfits. They don't really add anything to the game. I promise you that. Just play the game normally. 50 bang plus tax is still a good game to get. It's not that expensive as today's games. Mafia, hopefully I come out with more heat. Hopefully this is the groundwork to another fire game. I will be right there with y'all. Just ease up on the knife fights. Let's get it all open world and let's go back to having more fun. All right. If you played this game, hit us up in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this, man. What was your favorite part of the game, worst part of the game, all that good stuff. Let's talk about it. All right. Till next time, follow your boy on all social media using the link tree in the description below. And I'll catch y'all next time on another edition of The Nerds in the Hood. Grazie. Grazie. Arrivederci. They was talking Italian. I learned some things, okay? Sheesh. Peace.